Hello everyone. So in the last session we were discussing about the phylum Platyhelminthes and Ctenophora, and in this session we will discuss the next two or three phylums. That name of the phylum is Aschelminthes and the next is Annelida. One more is Arthropoda. Okay, so these three phylums, the next phylums after Platyhelminthes. Okay, so we'll discuss the first phylum in today's session. The first one is Aschelminthes. Aschelminthes or Aschelminthes. So this Aschelminthes organisms are circular in shape. Circular in shape. So the organisms, whatever the organisms comes under this Aschelminthes are in the form of circular. Now, hence the name of the common name of Aschelminthes is hence the name called as roundworm. All right. So the next concept is the just now we studied about the common name of Aschelminthes. All right. The organisms are in the form of circular manner. How they'll be? They'll be like along cylindrical forms. All right. So the next is the habitat of organisms. If they study the habitat of the Aschelminthes, some of them are free living, some of them are available in water media. It means they are present in aquatic form. Some of them are parasites. Parasites means living inside the host body. That host body may be a plant or an animal. The next is some of them are, they are also available in the terrestrial form, terrestrial or in the soil. Alright, so this is the habitat of Aschelminthes. Free living means freely they can move from one place to another without entering inside any of the host body. They'll be live in the free way. Maybe they're available, they are present in the form of aquatic. Either it is a marine form or a freshwater form. Some of the organisms are there. Those organisms are known as parasite, which spread diseases, which causes diseases. They used to live inside the host cell. They need the host cell or the host body will be a plant or an animal, or maybe they are available, they are present in the terrestrial form. The next is they contain an organ system level of body organization. So organ system level of body organization means what? They have a complete organ like they'll be have the digestive system or the nervous system or the excretory system. Having a complete system inside an animal body, we can represent that type of character in the form of organ system level of organization. Now, the fourth one is they are bilaterally symmetrical. The body symmetry is bilateral. That means what? If we cut the body from only one plane, so that plane should be through this. If we take the section from longitudinal way, we can have the body into, we can cut the body into two equal halves. Just consider, I am taking the section of this roundworm from this side. I can have the two body halves, but I cannot read all the internal parts if I take the section from here to here. Okay, if I want to study all the things, all the sections and all the internal parts and all, I should take the plane, I should take the central axis from this way to this way. So that tells about the body symmetry. The body symmetry is bilateral and they have three germ layers. It means they are triploblastic, and one more is there, they are pseudocoelomates. They are pseudocoelomates. Pseudocoelomate means what? Triploblastic means what? The germ layer. The germ layers are of three types. One is outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, middle mesoderm. That's why they can call it as, we can call it as, these are triploblastic animals, and they are, the body cavity is, what type of body cavity they have? The body cavity is a false type. The body cavity, consider this is the endoderm, ectoderm or outer layer, inner layer. In between these two, the cavities are present, which is lined by mesoderm. Those cavities spread or scattered randomly. They do not have a complete cavity. The cavities got scattered here and there. That's why we used to call this type of animal as pseudocoelomate. Now, the next is digestive system is complete. Digestive system is complete with having a muscular pharynx. The muscular pharynx is present in the digestive system of Aschelminthus. Now, what does it mean? The digestive system is complete means they have two pores, two openings. At this one we can call it as a mouth, and at the what is that? Posterior position, one more opening will be there. That opening will be an anus. So that digestive system have a pharynx, a muscles. The pharynx is made of muscles, and having a complete system represent the organ system level of organization. So what you have to write? They are having a complete a complete digestive system with muscular pharynx and excretory open is present, which is known as an anus, excretory pore. excretory pore. All right. So the next one is the waste materials are removed by the excretory pore. All right. So here I'll write the eighth one. Sexes are separate, which means this is a dioecious animal. Dioecious animal. Dioecious animals means what? I have drawn the two ascaris, two worms here. One is little bit straight in position, one more is at the posterior position. It have a little bit what is that, curve at the posterior region, at the bottom region. What does it mean? The male, this is known as a having a straight body is a characteristic feature of male worms, male ascaris. Having a curved nature represent a female one, female roundworm. So this is the male roundworm, female roundworm. So that's why they have given the character known as sexes. Male and female body is separate. That's why we are going to call that as a dioecious animal. And females are larger than male. Female are larger than male, and fertilization is internal and development is in some of the ascaris, in some of the Aschelminthus, it is direct, and in some it is indirect. Coming to the examples of Aschelminthus, fertilization is internal means what? The male and female gametes are going to fertilize inside the body, female body. Ascaris examples are Ascaris, commonly known as a roundworm. The second example is Wuchereria. The common name of Wuchereria is filarial worm. Alright, so the next one is Encyclostoma. Common name is hookworm. So all these comes under the Aschelminthus phylum. Alright, so the Aschelminthus, you can see the all the characteristic feature of Aschelminthus with the diagram on the blackboard, on the board. Alright, so we'll have a quick revision of Aschelminthus characteristic feature. So the organisms are circular in shape, hence the name called as a roundworm. They are known as roundworm too. They live maybe in the form of free, they live in water media, they live inside other host body, or maybe they live in the terrestrial form. They bear organ system level of body organization. The body symmetry is bilateral. They have three germ layers, outer ecto, inner endo, middle mesoderm. They have false body cavity. That's why it is known as pseudocoelomate. They have a complete digestive system within it with the muscular pharynx, muscular muscles. The pharynx is made of muscles. Okay, the excretory pore is known as anus. Through the excretory pore, it ejects the waste materials. The sexes are separate, that's why it is known as dioecious animal, dioecious or monoecious or hermaphrodite. These are the three different names given to represent the sexes of animal. So we can call as dioecious, and monoecious means what? Having both the sex organ in one body. And monoecious, the particular word monoecious given to plants, and hermaphrodite word given to animal. All right, here what we have to write, what we have to read: dioecious animal. The fertilization is internal. Fertilization means what? Male and female sex, male and female gametes are going to fuse inside the female body. And after the development, after the fertilization, the development of the zygote and everything, every development is going to take place inside the body, and there may be a direct one. The direct means what? And so after the fertilization, whatever the embryo develops, if it looks like the parent body, it means development is direct. If it comes to the larval stage or any of the dissimilar stage which is not common to the parent body, we can call it as development is indirect. The examples are as follows. One is Ascaris, common name is roundworm. Next is Wuchereria, common name is filarial worm. Third one is Encyclostoma, common name is hookworm. We'll have the next phylum. The next phylum after the Aschelminthus is Annelida. Phylum Annelida. They are aquatic, terrestrial, and some of them are free living and some of them are parasite. So you might have seen these type of organisms in next to your home, and in the moist regions you might have seen the leeches. This is known as leech and this is known as nereis. All right, so these two are the examples of what? Annelida, phylum Annelida. The habitat of the Annelida is aquatic. They are available in aquatic form. Some of the organisms available in terrestrial regions. Some of them are free living organisms. Some of them are parasite. All right. So the next character of this phylum is they bear organ system level of body organization. The symmetry is bilateral symmetry and having 3 layers: triploblastic layer, and body is metamerically segmented. Metamerically segmented, and they are coelomate organisms. Now, what does it mean? Organ system level of body organization. They have a complete organs in it. All right, which is working as some of them are going to digest the particles, food particles. some of the organ is going to excrete the waste materials. Some of the complete organ system is working as a circulatory system. So that's why they comes under the organ system level of organization. So you can see the body now. So the body is somewhat a longitudinal one, and that's why we cannot take in from any of the plane to cut the body into two equal halves. We have to take the central axis through one plane to have an equal halves, body halves. That's why they comes under bilateral symmetry, and they are having three layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. And then you can see the lines over there, on the body. These lines represent the metameres, the segment. In common language we can call it as segment, but they are known as metameres. That's why the phylum name known as the Annelida. This is the Latin version. Annulus means little rings, having rings on the body. That's why that they have given the name called Annelida. And the next one is they possess a complete circular shape. One second. Longitudinal, circular, rings which help in locomotion. So, you might have seen the earthworm. How the earthworm locomote, like this it used to locomote. And the leech too. This is the aquatic, some of the forms are, nereis are they are aquatic form. The each segment, so each segment have a pair of appendage. The name of the appendage is parapodia. Through this parapodia they used to swim. Alright, but if it want to locomote on the earth, how it used to? For the locomotion and all, they have longitudinal and circular ring, which is meant for the locomotion in leech type of organism and also in the earthworm organism. But in some aquatic forms, they possess appendages. Each body segment have a pair of appendage. Those appendage are known as parapodia. They have nephridia, which act as an excretory organ, and also acts as, or also it balance the body. Balance the body means what? Which helps in osmoregulation. Nephridia, which is an excretory organ, which is going to excrete the materials, waste materials, which is going to excretion. The excretion process is taking place in the nephridia, and also which maintains the body regulation, osmoregulation wherever it is present, and it bear a pair of ganglia which act as a nervous system. What type of nervous system do we have? We have brain, spinal cord, and a bundle of nerves, ganglions. Number of those type of structures are present in our body. But in these organisms, what it bears, what it possesses? It possesses only a ganglia, a bundle of nerves. Through that, the impulsion passes, the message passes. All right. Now, next, reproduction takes place by means of sexual. All right. Now, the next is Nereis is dioecious and leech and earthworm is hermaphrodite animal. Leech and earthworm is hermaphrodite. Nereis is dioecious. Dioecious means what? Male and female organisms are separate. But in the leech and earthworm, they have both, they are going to release both male and female gametes. Alright. Sexual reproduction is by means of sexual, only sexual type of reproduction takes place. Coming to the examples of it, I am going to write here. The first one is example. These are example. Nereis, hirudinaria. Hirudinaria common name is leech. Third one is Ferretima. Ferretima common name is earthworm. Okay, so that's all about the phylum Annelida. Now we'll have a quick glance on the phylum. They are aquatic, terrestrial, free-living parasitic forms. You should not consider, my dear students, you should not consider only one type of body is living in all the areas. You have to imagine some of the organisms are going to live in aquatic, some of the organisms are terrestrial form, or they are going to live in forest area. Some of the organisms are going to live inside the host cell or host body. Some of them are going to live as a free living organism. The body organization is organ system level, and they are the body symmetry is bilateral one, and they bear three layers known as triploblastic. The body is highly segmented. It means metamerically segmented. The segment are known as metameres. All right, and they are coelomate organisms. Coelomate means body cavity is present. Acoelomate means body cavity is absent. Here body cavity is present. All right, and the how they are going to locomote, how they are going to pass from one place to other place by means of longitudinal and circular rings in the body, which helps for the locomotion. And next is the Nereis. In the Nereis, they bear the parapodia. It means each segment bear a pair of what is that? Appendage. Appendage means legs. Parapodia. And the nephridia acts as a excretory organ, and ganglia acts as a nervous system, or it is ganglia is present as a nervous system, ganglia. So here I have written here Nereis. Nereis means have labeled, named this organism. The name of the organism is Nereis and this name is leech. Now coming to the reproduction. Now the reproduction takes place by means of sexual. The Nereis are they are present in dioecious form. Male and female Nereis are separate and leech and earthworms are hermaphrodite. Examples are Nereis, Hirudinaria, Ferretima. Hirudinaria is the scientific name for leech. Ferretima is the scientific name for earthworm. We'll have one more phylum now. So the next phylum after Annelida is Arthropoda, which is a largest phylum, which is considered as a largest phylum. 2/3 of the species comes under this phylum. Why? All the insects and all. You might have seen the housefly, honeybees and grasshoppers, cockroaches, everything comes under this arthropoda, this phylum. That's why 2/3 of the species comes under what is that? Phylum Arthropoda. Now I have given the examples. What you have to do, you have to imagine the habitat of it, where they used to live, which is the place or area where it is going to live, where it is going to lead its life. That's why I have not mentioned there. Okay, directly I'll go to the characteristic feature of phylum Arthropoda. The phylum Arthropoda, they have organ system level of organization because they have the respiratory or circulatory and digestive, every organ are present, but it is not complete matured as like in our body it is present. No, it's not like, but they have. That's why they comes under organ system level of organization. Just imagine one cockroach or any of the honeybee. Can you cut the cockroach from any plant so that you'll get the two equal halves? No, my dear students. That's why they comes under bilateral symmetry. At the embryonic stage, they have three layers. One is outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, inner endoderm, and the body is segmented. How they are going to, how they are having the segments on the body? The body like they have a head, a thorax, and abdomen. Consider, so just one insect I'm drawing here. This part you can consider as a head and a thorax and the abdomen. So this is nothing but the body division. And in some animals, for example cockroach, if you see the ventral surface of cockroach, you can see the segments on the abdomen region. That segment is also known as the body is segmented. And the body cavity, inside the body they have a true cavity, a body cavity known as a coelomate. You might have touched that cockroach or the honeybee or the grasshopper. How do you feel? You feel somewhat like hard substance which got covered to that what is that body. So that hard or somewhat little bit rough area is known as exoskeleton. That exoskeleton is made of chitin. The substance is chitin. That's why the body is covered by a chitinous exoskeleton, outer coverage area, whatever. If you press or if you smash that animal, you feel like sound when you press that or when you smash that insect. No, so that what is that sound is because of presence of chitin substance. And one more time I have written here, the body is divided into three parts. One is one uppermost head, the middle thorax, and the last is abdomen. They have the appendage. In some of the insect, at the abdominal region, they have the appendage. Appendage means legs. Some of them use the appendage for flying, walking. Some of them use for swimming and so on. And one more thing I mentioned here, they have the wings. From the thorax region, some of the birds or some of the insects, they have wings which is meant for flying, and they respire through the gills, as like we have the alveoli, lungs, trachea, bronchi, primary, secondary, tertiary bronchus. Number of all these organs are there, no? So all together it is known as a respiratory organ. In this arthropoda, it is not much developed like a respiratory system. We cannot say it has a lung or it has a complete alveoli branch. It's not like that. Though it is a small animal, they have the respiratory system in the form of like this, the type of gills or book gills. If some in some organisms, they only have the trachea, a pipe, only the pipe. And then some of the animals, some of the insects have book lungs, and some of the arthropoda species have tracheary system. Through that they used to respire, through that they used to change the gases. They used to excrete the carbon dioxide, they used to inhale the oxygen. The circulatory system is open. They do not have a complete vessels and all. The tissues and cells are directly bathed inside the blood. That's why it is known as circulation is open. You might have seen the antenna which is present in the cockroach. Consider this, the cockroach. They have a long antenna. Those antenna act as a sensory organ. They used to sense whether any object is coming in front of that, or any human being is coming in front of that, so that it can sense and it can escape. If it want to find the food through that sensory organ, it can find the food. And antenna and eyes are also the sensory organ. They have compound eyes. Compound eyes means, you might have seen the housefly. You find number of subunits altogether meant as one eye. That's why it is known as compound eye. They used to balance their body. They have a statocysts inside the body which act as a balancing organ. And they have the excretory organ, as like in our body we have kidney. The structural and functional organ, or system, unit of kidney is nephridia. The nephridia is going to work in a proper manner in our body, and like that the Malpighian tubules is the one which is going to work as a excretory organ in Arthropoda phylum. The sexes are separate. They are dioecious one, and fertilization is internal. Some of them like all the insects are all oviparous. They are going to lay the eggs, and development is direct. Some of the organisms are going to give similar young one which looks like a parent, but some of the animals, some of the arthropoda insect like cockroach, they are going to pass through the larval stage. Through the larval stage, they'll come to the parent body. They look like a parent body. That's why we can call that type of animal as development indirect. Okay, so that's all about the characteristic features of arthropoda. And the very important part of the arthropoda characteristic feature, important part is examples. That examples I'll write it on the board in the next session, because so many times they have given for 3 marks only the examples of arthropoda. You can receive those examples for 3 marks, my dear students. That's why I'll explain that in the next session. Just have a glance on the arthropoda. This is the largest phylum. The organisms have organ system level of organization. They have bilateral symmetry and triploblastic. They have segment on the body. The body is a coelomate. Body is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. They have divided into head, thorax and abdomen. They bear jointed appendages. One appendage, one more, like that, jointed appendages. The respiration takes place by means of gills or booked gills or booked lungs or trachea system. And the circulatory system is open type. Sensory organ in the form of antenna or eyes. They have statocyst which balance the body. They have excretory system in the form of Malpighian tubule. The sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous animal, and the development is direct or indirect. Okay, so if you have any doubt, please ask me. We will continue in the next session. Thank you.